And joining us for the first half of the show is the North Central Charter Essential School. And joining us is Stephanie Harden, the Executive Director of the school, Tricia May, Principal, Libni Vargas, Founding Teacher, and Ann Calcaterra, did I say that correct, Ann? You are a parent and President of the PTO. One of the things I think people, we've had the North Central Charter School on before, but I think one of the things that people like to know is what is different between a charter school and a public school. And we talked before the show, and this is a real loaded question. That there's a lot there, but as simply as we can.
Well, I think the charter schools are public schools, and in our case, our school is unique in that it's small. We serve about 350 students.
From grades
7 through 12, so we're a middle and high school. We are unique also because we're in an old shoe factory on One Oak Hill Road, and we have a really deep sense of connectedness with our faculty and our students. We're also an essential school. We follow 10 common principles of education, and we really know our kids well. So we're unique in that way. We are public, we're free, and we really see all of the students that we serve as special and unique and having great talent, and we seek to allow them to be their best.
Being a public school in Fitchburg doesn't mean that you only have Fitchburg students who live in Fitchburg in your
Correct. That's another unique thing about us is that we're a regional school. We have students coming from 30 different towns and cities across 30.
Wow.
Yes. Some students drive as far away as Athol and Orange. We have students coming from Hudson and Holden, Hubbardston, Princeton, Sterling, Townsend, Ashby. They really run the gamut.
Let's make sure that people understand that there is busing probably only within Fitchburg.
Correct.
Charter school.
50% of our students are from Fitchburg, and Leominster and Gardner are also large percentages of our. So the predominant population are from these three towns and cities, but then we serve students from all over north central Massachusetts.
I think one of the questions a lot of people have is how is the charter school funded? Is this monies that come directly from the state? Is it come from the community that the student is coming from? How does that?
That's a great question. It is another one of those challenging questions when we talk about charter schools. Our charter school is funded through the Department of Education. We receive funds that come from the Department of Education, and they use a formula to determine where the students come from and then how much money would be associated with that student. The calculation is based on the sending district. So they send us what would have gone to Fitchburg Public Schools to the charter. We do not receive local aid from the town or the city. That comes directly to us from the Department of Education, but it isn't taken away from the public school. So for example, a student would come and we would receive the same amount that Fitchburg would have gotten from the Department of Ed to serve that student, and then the Department of Ed would determine what local aid would have been given to Fitchburg Public Schools for that student, and they would send that to us directly. But the local aid that would have gone to Fitchburg will stay in Fitchburg. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's complicated.
It's very complicated, and I think that's why there's a lot of tension around it. The other interesting piece about charter school law is that the state was very thoughtful in not wanting to penalize the sending districts for the charter school. So for the first 3 years that a student is enrolled, they will continue to send that same amount of money to the sending district and to the charter school. So that buys some time for a district like Fitchburg or Leominster to.
I suppose that helps also because if a student goes to the charter school and maybe spends 6 months and then decides I'm not really sure this is for me, then the sending school, if in fact that money went to the charter school, then the sending school is out that money even though they get the kid back. Do you know what I'm saying? That this way everybody is taken care of, it seems.
Yes, although we public schools report throughout the year our enrollment. And it's a very kind of concrete process where each student has an ID number, and we report their attendance, their enrollment 3 to 4 times a year. So, and then we really don't know what our budget ultimately, at the end of the day, exactly how much money we're going to get from the state, because it's all based on average attendance, enrollment numbers, as we report them these 4 different times throughout the year. So our first report is actually going to go in March. Our projections for our enrollment for next year. So this is actually a very important time for us, because we need families who are interested in sending their children to our school to submit their applications now, so that we can make accurate projections for next year for our school. So our first report goes in March, then another one goes in October, and we do another one in February.